Hi, welcome. A very big welcome to the show, to all the Bigfoot Outlaw family, to everybody watching all over the world. We are coming at you live currently from the UK. We broadcast coast to coast and around the world. Thank you and welcome to everybody joining. If you are new to the channel, if you're new to the show, this is the Bigfoot Outlaw Network of different esoteric, paranormal programming. We've got ghost hunts, we've got true crime, we've got Bigfoot hunts. Right now, Grizzly, whose channel it is actually on a hunt. So you'll be hearing all about it later on. That also means that backstage, pulling the levers and pressing the buttons is me. My name is Inbaal. I'm a psychic, tarot reader, and witch of many years. It's my first time producing. So if I mix anything up, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna start doing this by flashing up all the nice hellos. So Rob says hello. Lorna says hello to me. Lorna says hello to Missy and to Kathy. Kathy says hi to Lorna. Missy says hi to all. All of you are already subscribed, and thank you so much for joining me. What I wanted to talk about tonight is actually, I feel, very in keeping with us creeping up to the biggest supermoon we've had in years. The moon, the full moon of Thursday, is going to be the brightest and the biggest moon that we have seen in a long time, and is also a little bit linked with the fact that we're creeping up towards Halloween. What I wanted to share amongst us, since we are amongst friends, is what is the weirdest superstition that you either made up yourself or that you learned in your family or that you learned from friends. So, as you can imagine, I have a list of superstitions as big as your arm, but I would love to hear yours. And since every time you see me looking sideways, it's because I'm trying to sort of figure out how to do the messages, which I think so far is going to go all right. Hi, Michelle. So I'll start by sharing, and I really hope that you've got some fun stories to share with me, to share with the class, with all of us. A little bit later on, do not worry. I've got a whole bunch of tarot cards here and some more tarot cards there. So we're going to be doing some readings. If you want to put your questions in the messages already, I found out I can file them to one side. And when we do the questions, I can go and dip into them. So even before I start sharing, I can see the most hilarious message I've seen in my life from Michelle, who says, "Step on a crack, break your mother's back." And when I saw that out of the corner of my eye, I thought maybe this is how you're communicating with me. But no, is it step on a crack like a crack in the sidewalk, like a crack in the pavement? I need a little bit more context, Michelle. Let me know what that step on a crack is. Is that having bad luck from stepping on the lines between stepping stones? Lorna says, "Oh my, there are so many. Some, I think, I do, not realizing that it is a superstition." Right. So this is actually really, really interesting, because superstitions are natural, they're innate. If we, I don't know, if we walk through, I don't know, through a tunnel, and we naturally go like this, and then the next time we go through a tunnel we naturally go like that again, then that becomes kind of an innate, natural way that we respond to it. So I think people can develop superstitions, not just adopt them from other people, but they can develop superstitions just through living life. So yeah, I'd love to hear a few, Laura and Nicole. Kathy says, "Don't walk under a ladder." So when I was growing up, we used to say, don't walk under a ladder, or you won't grow or something like that. And I'm like 5'1" and some change. And the lady who taught me about it was smaller than me. So that made me think maybe there is something in it. But when I was going through my rebellious stage, I would walk back and forth under ladders just to show that I could. And as you can see, I remained 5'1". Now, Kathy says, yes, crack on the sidewalk, I was told. Let me flash that on the screen. And Michelle says, my mother was terrified. If a bird got inside the house, it meant somebody in the family would die. I did not know that. Can I have a show of hands? How many people knew about that bird thing? That is really funny because there are some that would be like really specific to an area or really specific to like an upbringing. So I was in a friend's office once. She had like a really tiny office in North London, and I came to see her, and her friend had brought her like a secondhand pair of shoes, like it was her daughter. It wasn't the right size, so she asked who wanted them, and I was like, oh, I'll have them, nice shoes. And I just put them on the table, and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I have no idea. And she was like, shoes on the table, death. So that was her thing. But then when I kind of asked around, it looked like she was Persian Jewish, and for her specific like area of culture, that was like really normal. You don't put shoes on the table, end of story. So so that was like death. Anyone joining right now, we are talking about superstitions. Go ahead and send us your weirdest ones. So Michelle says, yes, it's real, a crack in the sidewalk. She says, my mother taught us to walk over them. So I think Roger has sort of come in going, what is going on? So with the cracks, I think it's quite interesting because I remember going over zebra crossing and only stepping on like the whites and not stepping on the in-betweens. It wasn't exactly a superstition, but it was just something that I thought would be, that's probably the normal way to do it. Lorna says, say good morning to a single magpie. So this is something that I know is like huge in the UK, and I don't understand it at all because we've got one magpie. Is it the magpies? One for sorrow, two for joy, three for a girl, four for a boy. And I remember a friend of mine who was Welsh. He was going for his driver's test, not driver's lesson, driver's test. And he said he saw a magpie on the way there. And so he knew he wouldn't pass. And he was like, I was looking around and I was like, where's your mate? Where's your mate? So two magpies would have been all right. One, no. Michelle says, my mother also threw salt over her left shoulder every time she cooked. So I've seen this, but I don't know exactly what it is because obviously in witchcraft, you use salt for cleansing and for purification. And I think that's something that goes across religions as well. So if anybody here is sort of very, very, very good on religious doctrine and all the ins and outs, confirm that for me, because I think salt is used in religion. And I think if you go back in history, salt was used for, drawing out the blood. Sorry, not to be too disgusting, but kind of for purification before meat eating. Is it cure? No, curing is something else. It's a salting, right? Aisha says S energies for me. Can you check for me? Sorry, Aisha. So I'm going to put your message to one side and I'll check for you when we get to the questions a little later. Lorna says a broken mirror is 7 years bad luck. So I've heard that. I think that's sort of quite a well-known one. And I think it's really interesting in mirrors because mirrors were seen as something that captures your spirit, that captures your soul. So obviously when it breaks, that's not really good news. Michelle says walking under the ladder is bad luck. I think so. Rob, who is married to a Ukrainian wife. So here we're sort of carving into a whole different culture, saying apparently in Ukraine, if you dream of a wedding, someone will die. A girl also can't sit in the corner of a table or you won't get married. So we have that. We have that in European Jews. We have the can't sit in the corner of the table or you won't get married. So when you've got like the feast of Passover, which, you know, when my grandmother was well and everybody was sort of living close by. So the feast of Passover, you'd have like 30 people around the table. And obviously some people would have to sit in corners. So you would place like the grandmothers and the ones that already had their babies and stuff. You put them in the corners because you don't need to worry about them getting married. But yeah, and the dreaming of a wedding. So dream superstitions are a whole huge topic, because you've got that, like the common ones, like the dream of being naked, dream of being chased, dream of losing teeth. I think that's supposed to be really bad news. And then Rob, who is Assyrian. Do you see how well we're doing with coast to coast and around the world? Rob, who's Assyrian, says owls symbolize death, so won't have them as ornaments in the house at all. I don't want to scare you, Rob, but we are a very owly household. We are dripping in owls in this house. So don't show your mom. I didn't know, because I think in other cultures, owls symbolize wisdom. But I think the death connection is because they were seen as messengers of the afterlife. And I think you get that in the Bible as well. So that's interesting. Lorna says, shoes on the tables from a dead family member rested in the house until burial. People were poor and the shoes were given or taken. Don't know if that is true, though. I think that is actually very, very true. And I think in some cultures, if anyone here is Latin American, maybe you can confirm it for me, but I know that in some Latin American cultures, the deceased remains in the house until the funeral, and they're kind of part of the house. And I've got a lovely friend who was at her family's in India just this year, and she sent me a picture. She's like, oh, so sad, you know, my aunt just passed. And there's a picture of the aunt, you know, resting, all comfortable, you know, passed in the middle of the living room, and everybody was kind of eating around her. And the Western part of me is sort of thinking, wow, that's a lot. But really, what a beautiful thing to do, to sort of share those last few moments before, you know, before they get taken away. But no, I think you're correct, Lorna. Roger has, and you know what? I actually sent it to the screen before I read it. So I really hope it's nothing that we can get like taken off air for. I've always heard of a hen starts crowing like a rooster, it means a death in the family. Goodness me, we're really delving deep into lots of ways of foretelling death. So a hen like a rooster, definitely never heard that. Let me know if you've heard it. Lorna says, I like hearing where the superstitions came from or started from. So yeah, a friend of mine in Israel, she's done like a, what do you call, like a university degree in psychology, and her final project was on superstitions. And she explained that superstitions are first of all divided into the ones where you attract something and into the ones where you repel something. So you're attracting good luck, or you're attracting money, or whatever, you know, you'll wear an amulet to attract. And the ones that repel, so the, you know, the throwing of the salt against the evil eye and stuff like that. So you've got attract, repel. And then you also have the division of active, passive. So having to greet the magpie is active, but having to like avoid doing something is passive. So it's really, really fascinating. And when you look at them across cultures, you actually have ones that will mean exactly the opposite, like we saw with the owls, right? That for Assyrians, that meant bad luck. But in Jewish culture, that was like, wisdom and knowledge. And I think I saw stuff like that. I did a whole series for Well and Goods, like an online magazine, about the superstitions that go with different animals. And I think there's like a praying mantis and what do you call the little bugs that light up? Sorry, my English is gone. So in a lot of them, there would be some positive superstitions attached and some not so positive. Rob has got a tarot question, so I'm putting that to one side. I'm going to do that later. Michelle says, I don't know why my mother did all these crazy things. That's what her mother taught her. What superstitions do for us is give us a sense of comfort. And I think, the world in antiquity was so chaotic. It was all like wars and pestilence and whatnot. So you needed something to make you feel as if you've got some sort of control over it. And the more we evolve and develop as a society, the less control we have over anything as well. If, for example, you own a printer, you know that it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, there are some things that you can't get to work. And and you can try all you like. So if you had a superstition around a printer, for example, you might believe that, I don't know, that sort of throwing a slipper at it would make it work. And that gives you a sense of comfort or a sense of control over it or something like that. Lorna says, I heard the salt over the shoulder was to ward off the devil if you spilt salt. I think that's correct. And I think a lot of kind of pre-Christian superstitions just got the devil kind of superimposed on them in order to make it fit with the religion, because you couldn't stop people from believing in this superstition. So it was much easier to kind of associate it. And Lorna also says, I think the walking under a ladder is that whoever is up the ladder could drop something on your head. You know what? I'm sure there's a much more insane reason. This is like far too logical, far too logical. And Lorna also has one that I've heard of, saying, another one, don't put an umbrella up indoors. Yes, I think people are very passionate about it. Experimental Elemental says, owly house here too. Why the owl for you? Tell me why the owl. And Experimental Elemental says, used to be the same in Ireland. Deceased would be at home until the funeral. See, it is. It's kind of beautiful. Michelle responds to the owls, saying some believes are evil and some believes they are positive. I love owls. And she says, I have an owl that visits at night, loves huge cedar tree. That is good fun. And there we go. We have one from Robert saying, I love owls. I rebel against this superstition. I think the owl symbolism comes from Kilili, the demon, so symbolizes death. They don't know the ins and outs, but just fear the owl from stories. So yeah, I think it's the messenger aspect of it. I'm trying to think, were there any owls in the symbolism in ancient Greek? Because I really can't remember any. But I think there might have been an owl-headed god in ancient Egyptian. I'll just put away. Oh, there's Amelia. I don't know to see. Do they have an owl-headed god? Yeah, I'll get back to you when I remember. Got a good one from Lorna saying, falling while walking upstairs is good luck, better luck than falling down them, I suppose. How true. Walking upstairs. Oh, wow. Michelle says, I've done that, Lorna. Fell walking upstairs, broke my ring finger on the left hand. Oh, scary. And Experimental Elemental says, owls have 360-degree view. I see them as protective. Now, Robert says, I sell clothes for a living, and it's clear when somebody's trying to buy shoes and not place them on the till counter. I usually just put it down because it's too much hard work to levitate them. Right? That's really interesting. So yeah, I was going to share not exactly my superstition, but my experience. So when I was very young, my family did not believe in anything spiritual, no superstitions and so on. But our next door neighbor was a little bit more religious, a little bit more, traditional. So I confessed to her that I believed in the evil eye and that I didn't like to sort of share when things were going well for me. This is like a 5-year-old child. I'm Pisces. I was a very intense 5-year-old child. But I said to her, when things go well, like, if I get a compliment or if I, do well at primary school, nursery, whatever it was, I would be like, yeah, it's better if I don't tell people because I'm scared that if I tell them, then whatever it is would get taken away. Now, this is the traditional kind of more religious neighbor. She flat out laughed at me. She was like, do you really believe it'll bring you bad luck? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And now I'm 50 and I still absolutely fully believe in it. And I think the kind of the fear of the evil eye does cross cultures. So when I lived in Greece, it was like a huge thing, to not have anyone give you like a compliment openly because of the evil eye. I am quite certain that in Turkish culture, you've got the evil eye as well. So yeah, so that's a fun chat. We're gonna bring up if anybody's got any more as bonkers as you like it. And in about 5 minutes, we're going to start doing some readings for everybody. I've got my tarot cards here, so don't be shy to send in some messages. In the meantime, let me share with you that if you're new to the show, if you're new to the channel, this is the Bigfoot Outlaw family. It's the Bigfoot Outlaw network of people, programs. We've got all the experts. We've got people coast to coast and around the world. So let's get cracking with a few of your messages. Aisha, are you still here? You sent a very simple message that just said, can you check for me? So let's have a little look. I'm here with the Thoth Tarot. The Thoth Tarot is my primary deck, my main deck. And I'm going to draw out 3 cards and tell you what they mean. Right. I've got to be really, really open with you, Aisha. It shows, sorry, I'm putting Lorna's message to one side so that I don't leave it. Right, Aisha, if you're watching live, amazing. If you're not watching live, you can watch it later. Everything is going to be on our Facebook, on our YouTube, and on all good podcasting platforms. So I'll tell you what it shows. There are arguments around you at the moment, and those arguments look absolutely pointless. Somebody's trying to get you to agree with them just because they want you to feel as if you're like beneath them. So what we have here is not so much a disagreement as a struggle for power. So it shows those disagreements, it shows that argument, how pointless that argument is, and then it says, do you know what? If you feel like that person is on your case for no reason, you're right. Can you? Is there any way for you to is there any way for you to just have that person removed from your life, even temporarily? If it's somebody in the family, and I feel like it might be somebody in the family, then just don't see them as often. Do you know what I mean? And then it says that the further away you can be from them, the better it is for you. So if it's somebody who is making your household into a bit of a misery, stay out as much as possible. Protect your peace. It's not a matter of staying out because they've won. No, stay out so that you get a little bit of peace. Oh, I've got a good message here from Michelle. I'm going to go back to the questions in a second, but Michelle says something very, very true. Owls were associated with wisdom in Greece and goddess Athena in Egypt. Athena is in Greece, Athena, Athens. But yeah, that's very true. And in fact, the reason, I'm trying to find if I've got any Athena owls here. The reason that I have a lot of owls is because of Athena. Athena is my main goddess. And the reason my husband has a lot of owls is because he follows the football team that have got owls as their an owl as its symbol. So I've got some Athena owls, but I don't think any of them are here. But yeah, big fan of the genre. And as is Experimental Elemental saying Athena and thumbs up. Lorna says, I'm trying to think of some mad superstitions, but the regular ones only are coming to mind. You know what? I'll bet you as soon as we finish here, you'll suddenly remember all the crazy stuff that you were, that you did when you were a student and it was like really normal to do then. Was there something that you did like before exams? Was there something that you do before going to a job interview? Now, the thing is, you can think of it as a superstition, but I don't have a lot of job interviews because this is literally my job. But when I had my last job interview, so like 3 years ago for the TV job, I was ready. I was like blue lace agate crystal here, rosemary oil on me, not superstition, if it's witchcraft. Michelle says, smash the like button. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So yes, very, very important. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoy our show, make sure that you are part of the family here. Rob says, my goodness, I just remembered an Assyrian one. Chewing gum at night will wake and summon the dead. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Dig deep and come up with some insanity for me. That is brilliant because I have two teenagers now. Well, one is 12. I count it as a teenager. I know it doesn't have a teen. In 6 months, I will have two teenagers, and they go to bed chewing gum. I don't even I'm not there when they go to bed. They go to bed of their own accord, but I'll wake up in the morning and there's like chewing gum in the carpet. So if it does summon the dead, it helps me with my work, but that is that is a quality superstition. Right, so I've got Robert's question for the tarot, and it says, how can I grow my social media presence and following? Thank you. Let's have a look how to do that because things have changed a lot. So, social media growth for Rob. Listen, first of all, that showing up a lot is always good. Show up, show who you are, get your, little ring light on, get your lovely face on there and allow people to put a face to the expertise because together the face and the expertise work very well together. It says also collaborate. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Bring extra people, bring extra experts. They're not going to take anything from you. And this is consistency. And I know that saying consistency to a Gemini is like hate speech, but consistency also matters. Now, I'm not going to lie. It looks to me like the visibility and the collaboration are more important than the consistency, but the consistency is part of that trinity as well. So yeah, let me know if you feel that that makes sense. What have we got here? All right, yeah, we've got a good one. The old classic, touch wood, knock on wood. Can't remember what for. So I think the Christianized version of touching wood was to remember the wood of the cross. But I think there is a pre-Christian reason for it as well, and I can't remember exactly what it is. And also, it's used from my experience, it's used from in non-Christian religions as well. So Michelle says, was it good luck, or you wouldn't get bad luck knocking on wood? Yeah, I think when I do it, we kind of say against the evil eye, so it's maybe to repel bad luck rather than attract good luck. I think it's a little bit like, like the evil eye. So that's interesting. And Rob says, thank you for my reading. I have collaboration works in the pipeline, actually. So fantastic to know that is the way to go. Thank you. You're super, super welcome. Let's see if we've got more questions coming in. So Lorna says, I would appreciate a general reading, please. Let's do a thing and smash your general reading with a bit of Rider-Waite-Smith. Why not? Why not? Let's go classic. So for Lorna Nicole, boy, oh boy. Listen good. It says, look, I don't even want to say the words. It says that you're feeling a little bit trapped in your own minds at the moment, trapped in your own thoughts. You don't have to feel like that. Now, I know it's really stupid to say, don't feel like that. It's just like when you're suffering with stress and people are like, well, just relax. I know it doesn't work like that. That's ridiculous. But it is saying to you, so I always make the same joke with the swords. I hope you're not bored of it. The good news with the swords is that it's all in your head. The bad news with the swords is that it's all in your head, and your mind does have rule over you. It does have control over you. So it's not easy. But when you can feel those anxieties try to overwhelm you, just let the little voice inside you remind you that it is entirely within your control. It says that you need to take action. There's something that you need to do. You know what it is. Is it in the region of traveling? Because that's kind of coming up as well. And it says that via that action taking, you can transmute the energies of stress, fear, and anxiety into making dreams come true, finding your way towards the dream ending, into the illusion. And it's interesting because you don't even have to know where you're going in order to get there. Do you know what I mean? I can see that you will find the right outcome whether or not you plan. The most important thing is just to take that first step. The longest trip starts with a single step. So that's what I've got for you, Lorna Nicole. Let's have a look at some more messages. Scrolling them up. Oh, Twisted has arrived. Hey, Twisted. Hello, all love and light. Twisted, we were chatting about superstitions and also doing bits of reading. So get involved with both. What's your favorite superstition? I'm just putting Kathy's request in my little folder. Lorna Nicole is saying, poor me. I'm feeling trapped at work just now, you're saying. So feeling trapped at work, the fact that it was saying just take action doesn't mean you have to quit. It doesn't mean you have to do something drastic. It just means that you have to do something, anything. Twisted says, I just got out of an Ascension conference. It was fantastic. Tell us all about it. I'm putting, Anita, I'm putting your question to one side and I'm going to get to it. Lorna says, thank you, Inbaal. That kind of answered what is going round and round in my mind, right? So take action. Susan is here. Hi, Susan. Hi. And Twister says, superstitions, crossing a black cat. How funny, because we talked about all the classics, but we didn't bring up the black cat. So actually, sad story, but the like animal shelters and so on are always having to advertise for black cats because they get adopted less often than other color cats. So yeah, really good that you remembered one that none of us remembered. Susan says, I love black cats. I do too. When I got my cats, goodness, 20 something years ago, then they're not alive anymore. I wanted black cats, and the person that they put me in touch with had ginger cats and some turtle shells. So I just sort of took them because cats are lovely. Cats are adorable. So let's have a question here from Yana, who is watching but can't type. She would love a card for the rest of the week, please, and thank you. Let's take a special card for you, Yana. What have we got here? Aha, wow. So I think this card is going to stalk us for the rest of the show because there we go. We already had that come up before for Aisha, and now we have it coming up for Yana. The rest of the week is argument, disagreement, and getting each other's backs up. And there is no point to it. Both of you are stressed. That's fine. Stress is fine. It's normal. It's natural. If you're stressed, then look into de-stressing. Don't look into stressing the other person. Do you know what I mean? Don't look into stressing the other person as a solution. So as a personal favor to me, make an effort, make a big effort, and try to de-stress, maybe even de-stress together. See how it works. Let me know. Let's see what messages we've got. Lorna says, me too about black cats. They are so soulful and they gaze at you. They are absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? And Lorna says, right, I am defo going to look into retirement, pension, etc. That's the thing. Just take action, any action that you take. Why I say take action, I mean, obviously, because it said that in the card, but what it showed is that any action that you take will get things started. And sometimes all you need to do is to get the energy flowing, get things moving. Once you've got things moving, you know, once you took a first action, then the second action will come straight after. It'll be, you know, it'll be natural. Rob says, I think on behalf of Yana, thank you from both of us. You're welcome. Let's have another question. Oh, do you know, I've got the message from Lorna that somehow ended up on my question file saying, don't forget to press the thumbs up, or as Twisted would say, love tap that like. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for making this a collaborative show for all of us. Kathy says, would love a general reading too, please, and thank you. Let's see. So a general reading for Kathy. I'm going to draw 3 cards. Ooh. Right. Listen, Kathy, first of all, it looks like whenever you try to make a decision, somebody else comes in with their opinion. Now, I'm saying that as somebody else who is coming in with her opinion. So I hope we're cool with that, with accepting it. But it says that the fact that there's more than one decision-making person in your process might be a little bit too many, even 2. A little bit too many. You've got to be the decision maker. So, Kathy, it shows that you're a little bit scared of letting go, a little bit scared of leaving things behind. But if you jump forward, it shows all the wealth and all the success waiting for you. So there is something that you can do that results in physical, financial riches, but it demands that you leave something behind and move forward. Could it be moving house? Could it be switching jobs? Could it be saying goodbye to an old friend and opening yourself up to new friends? Whatever it is, it's got a positive outcome. So that's your general. Thank you so much, Kathy. Let's see what else you're chatting about. So I am scrolling up to see. Scroll. Right, Twisted says, Inbaal, that card reminds me of a cat that gets fluffy when in defense. Get fluffy and walk off. Yeah. Sandra arrived saying, hi, I'm late. That's cool. And what else have we got? Lorna says, equivalent of a good hair toss, Twisted. Yeah, there's actually a cat near the kids' school, and he scratches. He shows love in his own aggressive way. So I pushed him away, and he hissed at me, and I'm like, who do you think you're hissing at? And the kids are like, I know, but we went past. That's fine. That was a very exciting story, I can see. Sandra is saying, wow, amazing readings. And I can see a question coming in from you. I'm putting it on the side because I've got another question before you, but we're going to get to you very soon. And Atia is here saying, hi, Inbaal, you look very pretty. And Atia's little symbol there is against the evil eye, and we spoke about the evil eye just a short while ago, right? So we are chit-chatting about superstitions, and we're also doing readings while we're at it. Let's look at the next question from Anita, who says, my son is struggling to find full-time work since graduating from uni. Will he find an opportunity soon? Let's have a look. So I've got the Rider-Waite-Smith deck for you. I don't know why, it's important to diversify, isn't it? So will he find an opportunity soon or not? So what it shows here is that on every job, on every opening, there are 5 exactly equally adequate people. So I don't see an opportunity in the sense that I don't see anybody sort of coming to him and saying, Anita's boy, I have something that I'm not offering to anybody else. But I feel like as long as he keeps interviewing, he's got kind of a 1 in 5 chance. So if he's got 5 interviews, he will get one of them. If he's got 10 interviews, he'll have 2 offered to him, because he's not any less talented, he's not any less qualified than other people that apply for the same interview. So he's just got to keep, showing up. There's a saturation in the market, so it's not a matter of changing his passion, changing his specialty, nothing like that. It really is just a matter, it's just a numbers game. It's just a matter of trying, and eventually he gets there. And it might not be for a few more months. This comes up for a fire sign. So we've got Sagittarius coming up soon, but it could even be the time of Aries. So it could be a little wait, maybe do something temporary in the meantime, just to make ends meet. But yeah, he doesn't need to change anything. He just has to keep trying, because it will be there for him. And let's go back to the comments and have a little look where we got. Sandra says, love the chat here. Thank you so much. Lorna says, an itchy hand means money coming in. That's interesting. I can see where it would come from, but I've never heard that. Oh, I'm going to feel a lot better about my dry skin. And Lorna says, ears burning, someone is talking about you. Yeah, that's a really interesting one. And Michelle says, yes, Lorna, my mum believed if your left hand itched, you're going to get money. I would love that. There's something about spiders. Is it spiders in the house that mean there's money coming? Has anyone heard that one? Scott is here. Scott says, what's up, all? We are great. Thank you. Lorna says, itchy foot will walk on ground you haven't walked before. Oh, I love those. And Twisted says, depends on which hand, Michelle. Left is money. Right, you meet someone. Wow, these are getting more and more sophisticated. I feel like it's been very educational so far. Kathy says, you are so spot on with my reading. Thank you, Kathy. And Anita says very kindly, thanks, Inbaal. Thank you so much. Rob says, I have heard the itchy palm one before. Thank you so much, you guys. That's fascinating. I love hearing it. I've got another question lined up, but I can fit at least one more. So if anybody else wants to ask for a reading, please don't hold back. We are also shouting out anybody new. If you're viewing us on any other platform apart from our YouTube channel, the Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube channel, then make sure you find us there, like, subscribe, and receive our notifications. And Scott says, my grandmother used to say that about money. So that's interesting. Scott, what else have we got from your grandmother? Have we got any extra? We're looking for like really crazy ones, but we went through all the fabulous classics and a few slightly bonkers ones. So we've got a question from Sandra, who says, would love to hear about my future. I'd love to tell you a little bit about your future. Let's have a little look what we've got there. Oh, right. So it says that in the past, because the future has got to be rooted in something, in the past, you used to block yourself from being special. It was safer for you. It felt safer for you to be, more ordinary, like regular. And it looks like somebody came into your life and you felt like that gave you permission to be fully yourself in Technicolor. And now it's time for you to teach that to other people. So I don't know if you're going to be working with the younger generation or being involved in community theater or entertainment, or showing people that it's really, really okay for them to be special and that nobody has to live by somebody else's parameters. Let me know if that makes sense. That was a really curious message. Very, very interesting. Lorna has got a good one saying, if you put your jumper top on outside, you have to wear it that way all day. Do you mean like inside out? Yeah. Let me know if that's what it means. Robert says, Google, spilling salt is bad luck, and the custom of throwing salt over one's shoulder could cancel bad luck. Was practiced, this is so good, was practiced by the ancient Sumerians, Egyptians, Assyrians, shout out to Assyrians, and later the Romans and Greeks. So that is like ancient. That's phenomenal. Little Twisted says, my grandpa used to keep $1 in his billfold, always said, would always have money as long as never spent it. He always has money. I love that, because I think that's very magical, like in magic, in like witchcraft magic, not like ta-da magic. You use kind of a concept that you call sympathetic magic, where if you have heart-shaped leaves on a plant, then it kind of draws in like brave hearts, that, you know, that like attracts like. And so you've got that dollar bill and it calls more dollar bills to it. That's so interesting. Sandra says, oh my God, yes, it does. Thank you so much. She further says, and it's true with the blocking until someone came into my life. Yes. Isn't that amazing? Thank you. Lorna clarifies, inside out or outside in. Oh, yeah. Now I understand. Fabulous. And let's do one final question. So I've got the question from Atia saying a general reading would be awesome. So let's do a little general with the Rider-Waite Smith and see what we've got for you. After your question, we're going to look at the rest of the messages, and then we're going to start winding down and seeing what we had here. But this has been such a fun show. So a general reading for Atia. Okay. Whew. I've got you very possibly having to choose between two suitors. We've got one romantic, kind of idealist, real dreamer, and one a little bit more established, older, has more to offer. It kind of depends what your style is. Do you want somebody to have fun with? You want somebody to build a future with? I don't mean it in a judgy way. I definitely prefer the fun one. But both of them are really romantic. And it says that as you're trying to choose between the two of them, you're going to find it really, really complicated because you're a very caring person, very attentive person, and you might find that you end up choosing the one that is louder. Again, maybe that's your style, maybe you like loud, but what it shows here is that you've got to either let your heart choose or let your brain choose. Definitely not let your ears choose. That is not how we do it. So yeah, let me know how that makes whether that makes sense. So we've got one more message from Matthias saying, I've grown up hearing that opening an umbrella indoors causes bad luck. So I've heard that a lot. And where I live, it rains like 300 days a year. So I don't really like umbrellas, but sometimes there's no choice, especially when I had like kids in a stroller. So you've got to put an umbrella over them. Otherwise the stroller gets wet. So because I despise rain in such a passionate, heartfelt way, I'll put up the umbrella at home where it's dry and then leave with the umbrella. And honestly, the way that some people react to it, like I violated some kind of a code, is, you know, it's really, I would say, a little excessive. But yeah, we are starting to wind down, people. Did we have the most fun? Oh, one more message. Robert says, random question to do with your work. Do you find it easy to scry with your crystal ball? Does he still live in the box behind you, or black mirror, black water? Thanks in advance. Very good question. So the one in that box is actually a clear crystal ball, which I don't find very easy to scry in at all, but it looks great in pictures. The crystal ball that you mean, the crystal ball that you've seen, is more cloudy, but here in the same box, I've got a different, more cloudy one. I find it easier to scry in something cloudy because my subconscious has got something to grab hold of. So I'll see shapes. Let's look for you. Ooh, right. We've got more money for you. So that's a nice start. I've got a little trip, and I know you're not keen on travel at the moment, but it looks like it's a little trip that will bring you a lot of joy. Oh, maybe it's a little trip to, yeah, maybe that's what it is. So yeah, I find that my eyes and my subconscious work very well together. So if my eyes have something to focus on, such as the clouds and the crystal ball, I find it easier. I've only done black mirror as part of a ritual. I've never done black water. I have scryed, like, in sand and steam coming out of the cooking pot, and seawater when I'm on a boat and stuff. I'm saying it like it's like everybody's done that. And when there's like little ripples, or when the incense smoke wafts in a specific way, I find it very descrying. But flat surfaces or a completely clear crystal ball, much less so, much less so. Very good question. So yes, back to thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for sending in your questions, for sharing in your experiences. I had the most fun with you. This was my first time producing, and I still have to figure out how to like put the end music and stuff, so I can still mess it up, but I feel like it's been really fine. Like, it's gone really fine, considering that nothing had gone wrong, nothing had gone too wrong. We would love to hear your paranormal experiences, all your esoteric stories on a future show. I'm Inbaal. Don't be a stranger. Come and get in touch. I'm always available on Instagram, and it's always fun to do this. I'm going to be here, same place, next week, coast to coast and around the world. We are the Bigfoot Outlaw Network. Now, I am looking a little bit to the side because I want to put the outro music for you, and I don't want to get it wrong. Have a fabulous day ahead. If you still got the day, have a fabulous night. If you've just got the night, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Bye.